Hi, it's Eva Cartman, and you are listening to the Dream Big Podcast Show, the place to go, to learn, laugh, and grow. I have a question for you, big dreamers. How many of you think that school's the worst and are dreaming about the dismissal bell ringing the second you get there? If so, we need to talk. You may not be ready for this episode, but I know I am. It's time to dream big.
Welcome to the Dream Big Podcast Show. We're inspiring you to shoot for the moon, take aim and go. We bring to you amazing guests who truly love what they do. Every day they're living their dreams, and so can you. Dream big, take action to reach your goals. Are you pumped yet? It's showtime, let's rock and roll.
Welcome to the Dream Big Podcast Show. I am your host, Eva Cartman, and today's topic is going to be how whether you love school or hate school is entirely in your mind. And make sure you listen to the very end of the episode because I'll be closing the show with a fun rhyming poem you won't want to miss. I'd like to start with a special thank you to the newest members of the Dream Big Squad, David Strauss and Caitlin Rance, and all their families. Thank you for supporting the Dream Big podcast. If you would like to become a member of the squad and get a special shout out from me on the show, then please head to dreambigsquad.com. Squad members also get access to a special commercial-free feed of the Dream Big podcast with all of our past episodes and lots of other cool squad-only perks as well. I wanted to acknowledge the review of the week. Every episode, I'll be sharing one of your reviews on iTunes. My mom and I read all of the reviews, and we love hearing how the show is having a great impact on our audience. Your reviews are also so important because they keep the podcast high in the charts, which is what allows us to attract great guests to our show. And it is those guests who are inspiring our audience to dream big, so please keep those reviews coming. This review is from Odd Newser, and reads, My 6-year-old daughter gets super excited when there's a new podcast. Eva continues to bring it on with awesome people. Her guests are always fun and insightful. I love hearing the inspiring stories too. We listen to it together in the car and on the way to school. My daughter even told me, Mom, I really can do anything I put my mind into. Love it. It's just an awesome source of inspiration for my daughter and me. Thank you so much for that sweet review. For a limited time, we are actually sending out free personalized stickers to the big dreamers who are taking time to leave an honest review. You can go to dreambigpodcast.com/bonus for the details on how to claim the free stickers. Okay, now on to the subject of this episode, which is how you feel about school. As I'm recording this interview, I'm getting ready to go back to school. So if you're listening to this soon after this episode airs, I'm guessing most of the young big dreamers find themselves in a similar situation. You probably just had a great summer vacation, spending times with friends and family. And maybe some of you are not very excited at the thought of going back to classes, homework, and all the routines that come with the school year. Well, I can tell you that I had an absolutely incredible summer. My family and I were so blessed to spend a week in Hawaii at the beginning of my summer break. And then I just got back from spending a month in Siberia. For those of you who don't know, Siberia is a part of Russia. My mom is originally from a city there called Krasnoyarsk, and her parents, my grandparents, still live there. So I went to visit. And I ended up staying an extra 2 weeks out there with just my grandparents. It was an incredible experience, and I'll figure out a way to tell you more about it in a separate episode. And just to let you know, big dreamers, it's a very long trip to Russia. First, you gotta go 11 hours from LA to Moscow, and then you gotta go another 5 hours to get to Krasnoyarsk. After an incredible summer like I had, sometimes you feel like you just don't want it to end. And even when school starts and is well underway, I know a lot of my friends, myself included, have talked about school like it's such a drag. Let me give you some examples. I don't to school today. I wish I could just stay home. If we were being honest, I'm sure most of us have felt that way one time or another. But I wanted to share why that is not a helpful mindset. And I thought it would be a great topic to talk about now, since many of you listening are either about to go back to school or will be starting in the next few weeks. The main point I'll be making is that you have the ability to decide whether or not you're going to be miserable in any situation. And while I would never claim that school is more fun than Disneyland or Great Wolf Lodge or going to the beach or your favorite after-school activity, that doesn't mean that you have to decide before you even show up that you hate going to school. Because, of course, if you have already made a judgment that you're not going to have a good day in school, then you're setting yourself up to not have a good day. And even if you try to at least start the day with a good attitude, when you get to school and you start having thoughts like, I really wish I wasn't here right now, or this is so boring, why do we have to learn this anyway? Or, how much longer till the school dismissal bell rings? I can't wait to get out of here. You need to notice the pattern of thinking and put an end to it right away. In episode 41, we had one of my favorite guests, Melissa Ambrosini, who talked about her book, Mastering Your Ming Girl. The Ming Girl, or mean boy, for the boys out there listening, is that voice inside your head that asks these self-defeating questions. One tip Melissa provides, which I have used myself, and it really works, is when you notice these thoughts popping in your head, imagine yourself saying to that negative voice, thanks for the info, but I'm not interested. See you later. Oh, and don't come back today. And instead, you can replace those thoughts with, I'm here right now. It may not be my number one choice, but I might as well make the most of it. I'm at school, so I'm sure I'll learn something new, and I'll be able to have lunch with my friends and play outside at recess. This type of attitude will help you not only while you're at school, but will carry over into the rest of the day. Because if you had a terrible day at school, since that was the decision you made, what kind of mood do you think you're going to come home with? My guess is probably not the best one. And trust me, you don't want to come home and start stomping your feet and slamming your backpack on the floor. Your parents will not be happy. But what if you made a commitment to make your day at school awesome? You'll have had some good times and laughs with friends. Come home a little smarter from what you've learned, and you'll be feeling energized to enjoy the rest of your day. So if you're one of those people who keeps telling yourself over and over, school is the worst, stop it. That is not going to help you. And when you think about it, it is not a good use of energy to get upset or stress about something that is out of your control. School is the perfect example of this. I'm guessing unless you're sick with a fever or some other sickness, your parents are going to make you go to school. So if you know you have to go to school no matter what, at least until you graduate high school, then what good does it do you to have such a bad attitude about school? I'm starting 3rd grade now. Would it be good for my life to spend 4th through 12th grade complaining every day about needing to go to school? So instead of school is the worst, my challenge to you is to start internalizing the idea that school rocks. If you have that kind of enthusiastic, positive attitude, you're going to have a way better experience. You'll get better grades, attract more friends, and find yourself with opportunities that you never would receive with a bad attitude. My dad told me a story about when he was in law school and taking a class on international law with an emphasis on China. The professor saw he had a deep interest in the subject. He was going above and beyond the other students in class. And because the professor noticed it, she suggested that my dad study a semester abroad at Hong Kong University. And sure enough, my dad ended up spending 6 months living in Hong Kong, one of the best experiences of his life. And to make the story even better, this trip gave my dad a love of traveling, so he decided to book another trip abroad after finishing law school and ended up meeting my mom on that plane. The point of the story is that you never know what opportunities can come your way just by having a good attitude and always doing your best. And that's my pep talk for today. Remember, this is your life. You get to decide how you want to live it. For you young big dreamers, especially who are still students, you know that school is going to be a part of your life, whether you like it or not. Most likely until you're 18. And then many of you will decide to continue on into college and beyond. That's your reality, and I want to challenge you to make the commitment to stop internalizing the idea that school is the worst. And even if you don't have that negative feeling about school, just work on improving your mindset so that school is not just okay, but school rocks. And with that, let's end with an original rhyme that my dad and I wrote to sum up this episode. Here it goes. School's not Disneyland, but your experience there can still be great. Whether or not you enjoy it, it comes down to your emotional state. If you convinced yourself school is the worst, well then, it's not going to work out well. You'll be miserable in class, counting down the seconds till the dismissal bell. You have another choice, an empowering one, where your attitude is that school totally rocks. You'll make more friends, learn new things, while having so much fun, you'll forget to check the clock. The reality is that you'll be in school until you're at least 18. It's out of your control. But you can control your emotions, so instead of a case of the school blues, choose rock and roll. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, Big Dreamers. You can find the rhyme in our show notes, dreambigpodcast.com/46. And we encourage you to print it out and read it before you go to school in the morning. It can be a fun way to remind yourself that whether or not school is a great experience, it's totally up to you. When you go to the show notes, you'll see a place to sign up for insider updates, where we send exclusive content, including a free audio that I made on my top 10 tips for making and keeping great friends. I know this will really help you, so please be sure to get with your parents to join the newsletter. And again, parents, please consider leaving a review together with your kids for the show if you are getting value from it. It really helps get exposure for the show and bring awesome guests. We love hearing from our fans. Plus, if you go to dreambigpodcast.com/bonus, you can claim your personalized stickers for taking the time to leave an honest review. Win-win for all. And with that, this is Eva Cartman reminding you that you have unlimited potential. Your dreams are not optional. You need to make them essential. So take massive action to turn those big dreams into reality. Live with passion the way life is meant to be. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!